Jersey, inevitable Ace Austin.
So if you ask Ace Austin, and I think there's a lot of merit to this, he almost single-handedly rebuilt the X Division in TNA. Three-time title holder. He wanted to springboard that to be the youngest world champion in company history. Didn't quite go that way.
His opponents from Toronto, Ontario, he is the reigning and defending MLP Canadian Champion, the walking weapon, Josh Alexander.
So Josh Alexander defeated Ace Austin for the TNA X Division title right in time to enact something called Option C, which meant Alexander could forfeit the X Division title to challenge for the TNA World Championship. Josh Alexander wound up winning that title that night, defeating your buddy Christian Cage, and Ace Austin's act ever since. One of it was me in that spot.
You're giving me a history lesson about Option C. I invented Option C. Originally, the C stood for Callis because it was my idea. So here's the thing. I know both of these guys very well. Obviously, Josh Alexander, charter member of the Don Callis family, so proud of him. But Ace Austin, when he took over the X Division, I was in TNA Impact Wrestling, and he was my guy. And I love Ace Austin, young guy, incredibly powerful, huge legs, reminds me of a young Rob Van Dam.
Okay, I see that. I also see the MLP Maple Leaf Pro Canadian Championship. Josh Alexander survived a 20-man gauntlet for the gold to win that championship. And Don, you and I both know how difficult it is to stop Josh Alexander when he gets on a roll. The longest reigning TNA Impact World Heavyweight Champion as well.
Josh Alexander, to me, is a wrestling machine. He's got no holes in his game, and I've said it on All Elite Wrestling Dynamite. I've said it on All Elite Wrestling Collision. This man, Josh Alexander, is the greatest in-ring technician in the history of Canada. Better than everyone that you think you're going to throw at me right now. Better than Gene Kaninsky. Better than Don Leo Jonathan. I could go on and on, but I won't, because he's about to show you why he's exactly what I said he is.
You can sense respect, but also thick tension between Alexander and Austin. This matchup brought to you by the Pop Shop, Canada's craft soda since 1969. Hashtag drink retro.
I grew up on the Pop Shop back in Winnipeg, and look what it did for me. I'm a genius.
There's an endorsement. Collar elbow tie-up. Austin's certainly been thinking retro because he's been thinking what would have happened in 2021 if it was Ace Austin versus Christian Cage, and Austin at age 23, 24 years old would have been the youngest world champion in company history, one of the youngest, if not the youngest world champion ever. You got to go back to Lou Thesz in the 30s to find a champion of a similar age range.
Lou Thesz didn't have legs like that. He's got 32-inch thighs, very powerful, and also very flexible.
And Austin is in mode to prove something to anyone and everyone that may say you can't. He is betting on himself. He is pushing himself further in the gym. He's up to 205 pounds and has solid muscle. And to your point, Don, every time I see Ace Austin, he gets bigger and thicker.
And doesn't lose any of the flexibility, doesn't lose any of the pop, the speed. He's just an incredible natural athlete.
Yeah. Alexander, though, trying to ground Austin.
Josh understands angles in that ring maybe better than any wrestler I've ever seen. As you see right here, he's shifting his body around. You don't want to be between the thighs of Ace Austin.
Not at all.
Great counter there by Josh.
Yeah. Textbook offense by Alexander. You control the head, you control the body. Alexander's always been a thinking man's wrestler, whether his title defenses go 5 minutes or 60 minutes. He is somebody who is conditioned to go whatever distance is needed to get the job done.
I gave him his first ever big-time contract back in Impact Wrestling, and when he came to All Elite Wrestling, I welcomed him with open arms to the Don Callis family.
That's certainly rarefied air. As Austin,
look at this kid.
That gets to his feet, incredible agility. Austin's the quicker of the two.
It's so hard for me. This reminds me of when I was growing up, when my father would take my brother and I in the backyard, give us boxing gloves and say, now, go beat the hell out of each other while I drink a few beers. That was what we did on the weekends. What? I almost feel like I'm watching that right now because I feel like they're both family members, if you know what I mean.
I think learning about your past says a lot about why you are as you are today, but Alexander looking for the cross arm breaker.
Don't ask me about my brother, by the way.
Check out the incredible counter by Austin as he not only shifts his body weight to get his foot on the ropes, but also clasps his hands together to prevent the full extension of that arm. Austin thinking, metaphorically speaking, on his feet as well as we end in a standoff early on. Canadian Championship to be decided, and I think if Austin wins tonight and proves he's the better man, and it could have been him all this time, it's a weight off his shoulders, it's a new genesis, it's a rebirth to the next chapter of his career. Austin has bet on himself these past several months. He's going his own path. He's making his own luck. But Alexander is somebody that can shut that down, maybe not in a heartbeat with Austin, but certainly with enough hard work.
I'll tell you something right now, and this is as truthful as it gets. Way too many young guys in this business listen to way too many people. Ace Austin made that mistake for many years.
Shoulders down.
Now, as you said, betting on himself. I don't know who's advising him, but he's much less scattered in his approach.
Oh man, pinpoint drop kick right around the jaw of Josh Alexander into the cover 2 count.
I tell everyone associated with me, why are you going to listen to someone else when you could listen to me? Because I've been there, done that, and helped everybody. So Josh Alexander has figured that out, and Ace Austin is still trying to figure that out.
Have you given Josh any specific advice concerning tonight's match?
Ignore these rubes in the audience. It doesn't matter that they were born in the same country as you. They are in a different species than you if you're Josh Alexander. These people are degenerate rubes in the crowd. As you can hear, they're chanting something in French now. Very disrespectful.
Josh Alexander, the Canadian Championship, a spiritual successor to the Canadian title that was prevalent in the 70s and 80s. Some of the past champions include Dino Bravo, the great Hussein Arab, the Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, and Angelo Mosca Jr. and Sr.
I love Angelo Mosca. My father grew up watching him play football. Did you know I'm a former 5-time Canadian champion back in the early 90s? You don't have that in your notes there? Is that a problem?
I figured you'd get to it at some point.
Oh, don't worry. I'll put myself over.
There's a slam by Alexander.
Oh, what a great knee drop. Harley Race style knee drop to the forehead.
But notice the quick kick out by Austin.
Look at Josh, not even breathing heavy, in total control. The guy kicked out, he's just gonna go right to the next move. What's next?
Austin frantically trying to get some relief, some feeling back into that cheekbone. Alexander caught that very precise, which is so much of what Alexander does, but Austin fires back with a kick. You talk about the strength in the lower body of Ace Austin.
Used it to counter there.
Yeah, Ace, he just doesn't stop moving, does Ace Austin. He's perpetual motion.
Very fluid.
And Austin, oh, he doesn't realize it, but in position for the car crash cross body.
That was fantastic. And the great thing, there's so many things to love about Josh Alexander, but the thing I like best maybe, he doesn't let emotion color his actions. He's just like a machine. He's on to the next move, on to the next punishment. He's driving towards the finish.
Saw Austin's head hit beyond the ringside padding to that wood floor. Have to wonder if Austin may have had his bell rung in that exchange. The way he got shot off that apron like he was in a high-speed collision. And it's going to go from bad to worse. They'll counter.
Watch this now. Get the leg, get the leg. Oh, we counted.
Austin, seamless motion.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
The knee and the shin almost through the face of Josh Alexander.
Right on the point of the chin, right on the button, as they say in boxing.
Let's check this out one more time, Don. Check out the pure impact.
Oh, my God.
And at this point, I think any strategy, anything you may have put in Josh Alexander's mind may have been forcibly removed.
And here's the thing with Ace Austin, I'll tell you from personal experience, you're not going to wear him down. You can see his conditioning is top rate, in his mid-20s. This is a kid that can be out here for 60 minutes if he needs to, and Josh knows that.
Yeah, no doubt both these men have prepared for this, arguably the most important match of either of their years, maybe in several years. Austin reigning town.
Yeah, this is great. If you're Ace Austin, this is exactly what you need to be doing.
12-6 elbows, and not just one target like you normally see, but up and down the body of Alexander.
Part of the zen of pro wrestling is taking what your opponent gives you.
Austin has told Alexander that a change is coming. A change is, quote, inevitable. Will Austin live up to that quote and that moniker in this matchup?
Ace Austin from Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I can only paraphrase another great Canadian when I say, if you were going to give the U.S. an enema, you'd stick the hose right in Atlantic City.
You know, I was in the crowd when Brett said that originally. Ace looking for a suplex. Looking to kick free.
Oh, what a great counter.
Incredible town. That Fisherman Buster. And the fact that Ace was so low to the ground, but Alexander was still able to muscle him up, that's incredible power.
Well, here's the thing. If you're going to snatch something on Ace Austin, I don't recommend it's one of those big legs, but he did it. He got it hooked. He used technique to get him over. You're not getting him over with muscle. You got to have technique. Josh has got lots of it.
Well, think of the names Josh defeated as TNA champion. As I want to remind you, Pop Shop Canada's craft soda since 1969. Hashtag Drink Retro, your presenting sponsor of this Canadian Championship match. Alexander, Austin to their feet, trading shots, but the walking weapon lives up to his namesake and gets the advantage.
Josh is now in punishment mode, looking to wear down his younger opponent. What a backdrop, perfectly executed. You don't see a lot of great, perfectly executed backdrops in today's wrestling. It's a thing of beauty and very effective.
Can't argue any of that as Alexander follows through in the corner. And that Finley-style roll, notice at the outset of this match, Austin was kicking, maneuvering, trying to escape at all costs, but just doesn't have that wherewithal as Alexander comes down with a knee right to the back of the neck. Austin could be knocked down. And
now look at this, right to a hold now. Josh does not stop.
Yeah, not just any hold, but probably Josh's most dangerous hold, that ankle lock. And Austin sensed it. And again, a hard strike to the face rocks the champion.
And anything around the twice broken neck of Josh Alexander is concerning.
That's true, a man that a decade ago thought that his career would be over. But fast forward now, it has never prospered more as Ace Austin looks to knock Alexander off that Maple Leaf Mountain.
I would love to see the conniptions that Scott D'Amore would go into if Ace Austin became the Canadian champion here in MLP. It's almost enough for me to root for him, but of course, with Josh being a member of the family, I won't do that.
I was going to say, what about the conniptions you'd feel Alexander losing his title and a week before All In?
That would be disturbing.
Austin fires off. You need a cut of Josh's title defenses here?
Pardon?
Just asking.
Keep your opinions to yourself and call the action. Oh my God, look at that. He adjusted and still landed on his feet. This might be it.
Belly to belly, 2 count only. And I think we saw certainly the after effects of some of those shots to the head Austin has taken.
Absolutely. But I will say this. Great body awareness, was able to adjust in midair, still land on his feet, but walked right into that move from Josh Alexander.
Austin can normally glide so seamlessly, but wait, it's a cradle. Austin traps Alexander for 2. And Josh to the outside. And distance will give an opportunity to somebody like Ace Austin. What does he have up his sleeve? Fosbury flop.
See, I used to call that a space flying tiger drop. What's the difference? Putting you on the spot on
Space flying tiger drop.
television.
Space flying tiger drop would have the handstand into.
That's how I used to do it. That's correct.
Oh, yes, that's how you do. I remember the tapes very
I might
well.
do one later tonight about midnight.
Not sober, you won't.
Nope.
There's Ace Austin.
What a great maneuver there.
It's
Hook
the famous
leg. Come on.
2-count only. Wow.
They say youth is wasted on the young. He should have hooked a leg there. Josh Alexander would hook the leg.
Even still, the recovery of Ace Austin, the desire of Ace Austin on full display. Austin's had this weighing on his mind for 4 years, and this could be the setup for the fold. If Austin or Alexander knew it, Alexander could sense where he was in the ring, and before Austin could approach, Josh may have just saved his Canadian title.
What a smart wrestling move by Josh Alexander, stepping out of bounds. Not again. There you go, caught it.
I left the ankle exposed. That's the danger of throwing a kick to Alexander. If he can pick that ankle, you're in no man's land. And Austin's thick thighs just saved him because they sent Alexander hurtling over the steel ring steps.
No one wants to count out.
And I want to give credit here to the official for giving leeway and making sure these guys get back into the ring. We want a clear winner and loser and a matchup with these kind of stakes.
Absolutely.
Austin, urgent in his movements. Dr. Bomb has the shoulders trapped, and Alexander gets out.
You see the leg power there on to full display, able to pick up his larger opponent into that Dr. Bomb.
I've seen it so much on television, at events, everywhere I've encountered Josh Alexander, but every time I feel like Josh finds a way to still surprise me with his pain threshold and what he can withstand, especially in a big fight situation.
He is a machine, as I said at the start of this match. It's not a moniker, it's a shoot.
Austin has Alexander in a precarious position.
Josh forcing Ace Austin to recalibrate this move, and now maybe going to the well once too often is Ace Austin.
Yeah, and those few seconds is what Alexander needed. Alexander needed to clear the cobwebs, and from high above.
And that takes some guts to execute that move when you've broken your neck twice. Full props to Josh Alexander, and Ace Austin looks to be out on his feet, or out on his back in this case.
It speaks to how bad Josh Alexander wants it, how he's wired as an athlete, drapes the arm, and a 2 count only. And I'm not sure if it was that specific move or the culmination of everything we've seen. But wait a minute, Alexander to the ankle. He didn't get what he wanted on that pinfall, but it looks like he's got all of this submission in terms of torque, leverage, and ring positioning.
With legs as big as Ace Austin's, you really got to step over if you're going to use an ankle lock. Here you go. This could work if he sits down into it.
Yeah, another Alexander.
There you go.
Yeah.
Use gravity, use your weight to wrench on that hamstring, to wrench on that knee, that ankle.
And it's Alexander going down to one knee that makes that pressure tighter and makes Ace more vulnerable.
And it's smart. You go down to one knee. You don't need to hold a squat position, which takes oxygen from your muscles. So very smart wrestling there by Josh.
And it took more out of Ace Austin to find a rope to escape, but escape he still did. It's what we expected out of both of these athletes. The drive, the determination, the undying will of both these men, so decorated in their careers, but insatiable, always looking for the next challenge to conquer.
We're about 20 minutes in here, and these two have just been beating the hell out of each other. This is fantastic. Canadian-style professional wrestling.
Austin looks limp, and again, compare that to how quickly he escaped this position in the opening 2 minutes. Austin's found something. The elbows, look out.
Wow, what a kick.
Even if you get out of Alexander's grasp, sometimes that fall could do enough damage on its own, but Austin, head start!
Okay, I've never seen that before. That's impressive.
The Tijeras, the head scissors, call it what you will. And the right up. Oh,
look at this.
That ankle.
Step over, step over.
Left exposed again. Alexander is ripping and tearing at tendons of Ace Austin. Will Austin tap away? Oh, no. Again, the thigh muscles. Austin rolls through, and Alexander took a hard tumble.
Wonderful counter there by Ace Austin.
But notice one forearm by Alexander can stunt that momentum. Look out. Oh. Suplex Austin on the ramp. Standing side switches. They get more and more into dangerous territory. Nice block by Alexander. What a straight right cross. Jeez. Mindful to note the referee is counting now. He wants us back in the ring, and I don't blame him. Oh, wait a minute. The C4 on the ramp, on the stage? No. Austin counters. Oh, backdrop. Alexander's body bounced, but that reinforced steel did not give it all. And a scissor stomp.
You see a lot of wrestlers who work on their upper body, and I think this match is a testament to working your lower body.
Ace frantically into the cover. He's got the Canadian title. No, he does not.
Because those legs we've talked about so much have saved Ace Austin on multiple occasions tonight.
No doubt. But again, we talked about it with Giselle and Shotzi earlier. Wait a minute. Ace may not need to ask himself what he needs to do. He knows. It's the fold. Alexander had it counted. Countered, I should say. Looking for the C4. Just straight down.
Oh, my God.
Lord.
That's it. That's got to be it.
Ace gets crumpled on impact. And Josh Alexander has retained the Canadian title.
Here is your winner, and still MLP Canadian Champion, Josh Alexander.
What a fight! If there's ever any doubt over the intestinal fortitude of certainly Ace Austin, but especially Josh Alexander, take a look. What a physical title fight this was.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Everything on the line here with the MLP Canadian Heavyweight Championship. And boy, Ace Austin looked great, but he was in there against a wrestling machine in Josh Alexander.
Austin brought everything, but Alexander maybe a hair better on this night. His back, his body absorbed so much, but what a wicked C4 from Alexander, and all respect and love to Ace Austin. I don't know if anybody could have survived that.
No, I think you're right, and I think there's more good things ahead here for your Canadian Heavyweight Champion, Josh Alexander.
Okay. Josh Alexander only beginning his journey in his mind. He set records before as the longest champion. Who knows how long